Welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to Saturday Vintage Challenge. Here we're gonna try Sheoldred again. I tried the changes we made at the end of last league's video, and I absolutely disliked them. I didn't think they were good, so I went back to the Tendrils thing that we were playing beforehand. So basically, I took out the Words of Wisdom. We have Preordain and Ponder now. I took out the Hercules Recall and decided just to play all four in the board, and that helps us with a extra Ponder Preordain slot. And I'm also playing an extra Flusterstorm. Tinker Citadel is back in the deck. I think it's kind of important. And if you're not playing too many of the 3-drops, it doesn't get as bad. And then I can't remember what else changes. The mana base changes I left, put all the basics in the board. I just didn't really want lands that didn't tap for Sheoldred, so that's kind of why like the island is not in there, and there's no volcanic in there. It's kind of the idea. So I skipped some of the changes that we made, but then I reverted a bunch of the other changes. So this is basically somewhere between a Tinker Citadel deck and a Hull Breacher deck and a Dark Ritual Storm deck. But like I said, we've had a lot of success with just Dark Ritualing out Sheoldred early in the game and attacking, and then Sheoldred early enables all of your Wheel of Fortunes to be lethal, which is really sweet. So we're gonna try this again today, and hopefully it will go well, and we can get maybe Sheoldred's first vintage top 8. That'd be pretty cool. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1 Vintage Challenge. We're up against Echo Baron. I know Echo Baron was also playing around with different Sheoldred decks, so that might be in the cards. This is a nice turn 1 Hull Breacher, so I think we're going to keep it. I will probably Time Walk first, just so that we have other options, like maybe drawing a Force of Will or something like that. I forget what kind of Sheoldred list Echo Baron was trying out. I think it was it a black-green list? I can't remember. I swear, maybe it wasn't Echo Baron. Maybe it was someone else. I'm not seeing it, so I'm not sure. Somebody else was trying out Sheoldred. All right, we're going to play Time Walk as our second card. Ruby as our third card. Maybe it was Andy. See, that would be pretty nice if we had a blue source so that we could resolve this Hull Breacher. But I think I'm going to go for max value, hold up in Flusterstorm. See what my opponent's going to do. If they cast something like Ponder or Preordain, obviously we can get the Hull Breacher in. We also have, access to Misstep and Fluster depending on what they choose to do, so. Urza Saga. All right. Oh, it's P9. Okay. I think I'm just going to misstep this. I wonder if I should wait on this Hull Breacher and try to draw a blue source. It's like not unreasonable. I probably will. We just have nothing going for us here, so I kind of think it's worthwhile. The problem is the Hull Breacher is not really going to beat the Saga, so. Kind of in a similar spot as we were before. A fetch land would have been great because that would have given us Hull Breacher Flusterstorm back up, and then we would have had Yogwill, fetch land, Time Walk. But oh, Watery Grave. What is Watery Grave Urza Saga? It's very interesting. I still think I'm gonna hold the Hull Breacher. I don't think I want to play it. They have Ancestral. Now I kind of think it's actually too dangerous to play the Hull Breacher. Kind of feels like opponent with a force is beating a Flusterstorm anyways. They can force one and pay for the other. I obviously get punished super hard for my misstep. I guess Hull Breacher doesn't get force of negated though, which which is probably the big enough upside. So they have to have Force of Will here. Maybe they don't know that I'm on Hull Breacher because I held it for 3 turns. Not sure. It'd be a big win if this resolves, for sure. Actually, we have access to Yagwell Time Walk if we have 3 treasure tokens as well. We also have access to Sheoldred with Flusterstorm backup if we drew like Sheoldred or something. Okay, so they had Force, pitching Gataxian Probe. All right, I mean, I got punished pretty hard for mental misstepping the Manifold Key. I don't know, it felt reasonable at the time, but maybe I should spin for a blue source. So you don't get like Tinkered or Doomsday or something. Okay. Unfortunately, very awkward. We just am missing a fetch in this game. This Underground Sea not being a fetch means like our Yagwells just don't really work. And then we can Dark Ritual into a Sheoldred, but then where do we even go from there? The problem, we have a really big problem where we can't just like play Yagwell and then a blue spell from our yard because we just don't have the fetch. It's been very awkward. Nothing is really working, unfortunately. Just drawing Soul Ring instead of a fetch land is kind of been a really rough spot in this game. I probably would be in a lot better spot if I hadn't misstep Key, but I wasn't really in a place to beat Time Vault. And then every artifact is going to make the Saga problem worse. Not sure. I definitely have regrets. Basically, every time I misstep something that's not ancestral, I have regrets. Yeah, we basically got screwed here by just never having another blue-black land. We don't really even have a great follow-up on this next turn either. So what is this deck? What are we playing against? Why is there a Watery Grave and an Urza Saga? What's happening exactly? Yeah, like I said, I think my play had merit. Okay, so no. I think he deleted his post. Or maybe this is the Power 9's post. I remember seeing a Hull Breacher Days Undoing deck. So this is why I spun to try to find a blue source. But I got. Maybe it's still up from the Power 9. What is I don't remember. I remember seeing on Twitter a Days Undoing Sheoldred deck. I don't really know if I would go as far to play Days Undoing. Days Undoing is, I don't know, man. Okay, so I think the post got deleted because I just don't see it anymore. But I think it's a blue-black Saga based. So they must be playing 4 Underground Seas and 1 Watery Grave, which makes sense. It's kind of the same reason why we're playing a Badlands. So it's actually, we're probably playing a very similar deck, except instead of Dark Rituals, my opponent is playing Urza Sagas, which is something you can choose to do. Yes, I agree. I'm going to bring in Dismember and Ashiok, and then I'm going to take out... I don't know what I'm going to take out exactly. Probably going to take out this Windfall. It just doesn't feel like a Windfall matchup with opponent having 4 Hull Breachers as well, and opponent playing a bunch of Moxen. Just doesn't, well, that doesn't make sense to me to play the Windfall. And then maybe I'll just take out the Mystical as well. Seems fine. It's going all right. How are you? So yeah, so round 1 of this vintage challenge, we're playing a Sheoldred Mirror, which is exciting. This is a turn 1 Sheoldred with force backup. Okay. All right. Well, that certainly helps negate opposing wheels. And then if we draw a blue card next turn, we can slam a Narset with force backup. Are they gonna Ancestral again? Yeah, it doesn't really matter though, because this is a 4/5 death touch that drains or that takes 2 life off of them every turn. This card just kills the game or ends the game very fast. So I don't think it's a super big deal. The upside of Narset being double impulse is going to be much higher. This card's body is definitely the, well, I shouldn't say. I think the strongest part is the fact. How do I phrase this? The combination of being a 4/5 as well as taking 2 life from your opponent every turn from just them naturally drawing is just so huge. So the question is going to be, do we Narset here? Because we didn't draw a blue card. We drew the fetch land and the lands that we were looking for last game. I think I'm going to cast it. I think the upside's just so high. Yeah, brainstorm in response. That's holy shit. Sure. Take 6. Yeah. This is a Magic the Gathering card if I've ever seen one. Blue card off of this? Tinker? Sure. All right, they go down to 5. So they're actually dead on the next Sheoldred swing. That's nuts. That's so crazy. Oh my lord. It's going to be a turn 3 a kill. What is this? This card's so good. Wild. It's just wild. Oh boy. This is crazy. I'm super intrigued. So I actually just bought 2. They're like 55 tickets or something. I had borrowed the first 2. I was like, oh, I'll make a cool Mimi Sheoldred video. It'll be fun. And then we played one league, and I was like, oh no, this isn't a meme. This is pretty close to playable. And now we're here. Card sweet. All right. Fatal Push is pretty good here. They have Revolt. They have Revolt Fluster. Okay. All right. Sheoldred has been dealt with. Can't find a new Sheoldred off of Narset. Lost my Tinker as well. Hopefully we find something good. We found a Yogwill. Can I replay my Sheoldred? I'm 1 mana short of replaying Sheoldred. Oh, I have a Time Twister. Yeah, I guess we can Time Twister. Justin's just being silly. Yes, let's Time Twister with the Narset in play. Good lord, Justin. Oh boy. It's one of those days. All right. Wheeling and dealing. What can I say? It's possible we want to like not have a Wheel of Fortune. It's just really tough to be playing wheels when our opponent is playing 4 Hull Breachers, 2 Sheoldred as well. But probably, yeah, I think I'm gonna just take the needle for Saga. And just minimize the wheels because it just doesn't feel like that's the way we're going to win this game on the draw, maybe. I don't know how many wheels they're taking out. I would at least, if I was them, I would take out any Days Undoing. That seems pretty bad. This is a turn 1 Sheoldred, so this is where we're at in life. It's a little overkill, but uh-oh. Hull Breacher, maybe. Ancestral. Hull Breacher, yeah. Kind of wish I could get my own Hull Breacher into play now. That's such a bad draw. I mean, if opponent just goes turn 2 Hull Breacher Twister, then we get turn 2 Hull Breacher Twistered. Like, there's just not much we can do about this. It is what it is. I can't even, like, play top, spin top. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Sure. I mean, if you draw a Mana Crypt every game, then the deck certainly is probably really good at, like, doing Saga things, right? Yeah. Though the thing is, like, so if my opponent did have a Sheoldred, they could just play Sheoldred this turn, right? If they didn't have Saga in their deck. All right, so Dark Ritual. It's gonna be a tough game though. We're just so far behind because of this Saga and the Hull Breacher. I think we'll just lose to Saga this game. Like, we don't have dress downs in our deck. We don't have Hercule's post board. We don't have anything really. I just chose to ignore Saga, and then we're gonna probably lose to it here. Unless something crazy happens. I can't imagine like how we're gonna come back from 2 constructs in this game. So they played a Watery Grave. What does that represent? Hardcast Force. That's a good draw. Maybe I was supposed to spin on upkeep. It's a little tough. Maybe I was supposed to spin on upkeep though. I don't know like what I'm getting, like what am I going towards? A force? I guess now I should be looking for a black source for my Sheoldred. I guess theoretically you could just like cut 4 Dark Rituals and play 4 Sagas. I really just dislike that, obviously for, you know, all the reasons I've previously stated, but it doesn't seem unreasonable. This is for Saga. I mean, I did bring in Needle to help us against Saga, so we can probably beat a construct. I think my opponent has a hard cast force, and they're trying to choose whether they want to force this Needle or just make a token. Mental Misstep on the Dark Ritual on turn 1 was quite good. We would have been able to go Ritual, Sheoldred top, and then on turn 2 we would have had 2 mana. We'd have been able to spin the top as well, right? Or no? Down to 3, up to 5. Maybe not. That's the only thing I can assume that maybe they have negation, but then they would be, you could just negate it and then play 2 tokens. So, right? No, you would only make 1 token still. I don't know. The good news is that we do have a Hull Breacher to protect us from getting combo killed. The bad news is they are going to trigger Revolt with their Saga. Okay, so something's happening. It looks like it'll just be Saga activation. That makes the most sense to me. All right, so 1 Saga token is theoretically beatable with Sheoldred. Why have you been clickbaited? I've only I've only spoke the truth. We're literally playing a Sheoldred mirror in round 1 of this vintage challenge. The opponent is also taking a bunch of life from their Mana Crypt and their Watery Grave and their Mental Misstep. So we got that going for us too. I think the only like natural home for Sheoldred in Vintage is Doomsday. But I feel like you can make homes for it. Like both Andreas and I have made different homes for Sheoldred, right? So he's gone for more of a Urza Saga deck, and I've gone for a Dark Ritual deck, which I think are 2 legitimate approaches. Honestly, it's likely the Saga deck is better, right? But I just can't play it. I can't make myself unhappy like that. It depends on how the mana base. Like I said, there used to be a picture on Twitter. It looks like Andreas took it down, so not to show off for this event. I like get concerned when you like start making sagas as your mana source. But if you like kept 13 other lands and played up to 17 lands with Saga, then maybe that makes a lot of sense. Or maybe something like 12 lands plus 4 sagas. So I'm not 100% sure the game plan is slow. Like a lot of times you're going for turn 1 Hull Breacher, turn 2 Twister for a turn 2 kill. So that's not exactly slow. It's hard to say. I got to make sure I spin at the end step here. We need to find something of value. We don't need to find something of value because technically we have second Hull Breacher. But a fetch land gives us Sheoldred. A force gives us a lot of added protection. I assume if my opponent has like multiple powerful spells, they'll get Lotus here. If they don't, they'll get maybe a top. I don't know if there's a top in their deck. I assume there's a top in their deck. Let's see what this is. I guess if they wield, that might actually win off of Manifold Key Construct. Oh, is that what's happening? We're both going to get a bunch of treasure tokens, and then they're going to go for a Construct 2-turn kill? Wow, that would be interesting. That's a lot of respect to me not having Dress Down or Hercules in my board. I could have boarded in Hercules. I just didn't think it was good, but I might need to. To be fair, I didn't really think that Saga would be a super big problem for this deck. Like you could play Dress Down technically. It's not super good with your Sheoldred and your Hull Breacher, but you could play Dress Down. Maybe the answer is I just should have had a Hercules. Oh, wait, why are we tanking about this? You just have infinite turns and you win the game. Why is this taking so long? Damn. Unfortunate. I can't draw into this Flusterstorm because of Hull Breacher. I would have actually been able to go spin and then untap and tinker my opponent. This Ashiok would have been also very good against my opponent's Urza Saga Tinker. But yeah, I mean, we can't draw with this top because of this. If you would draw a card except for the first one you draw on each of their draw steps. And so even if we did, my opponent could pay. All right, yeah, I mean, you got us. Good job. We're dead. Oh, Tinker. Tinker, Tinker, Tinker. It's certainly a magic head. It's even more better because they got rid of the mana crypt. Maybe they're just playing another challenge. Oh, okay. There's a super qualifier going on that they're also playing. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So Sheoldred did win a game. And then we lost one to Hole Breacher Twister in our 4 Hole Breacher deck. And then we lost one to Tinker. Could we have done anything differently this game to make this not happen? I don't think we had any counterplay that I missed. We did have a spin instead of naturally drawing Needle, but we would have ended up in the same place. So, I mean, we still would have drawn. I still would have taken Needle, right? Because my opponent had an active Saga. Like, opponent having a Tinker there, even if they were tinkering for, like, even if they didn't have, say we named Manifold Key, my opponent can just tinker for Citadel there and kill me anyways, right? So it doesn't really feel like I had any choices. And Flusterstorm wasn't beating their turn. So I just don't think I had anything that really mattered here. This game kind of came down to opponent having mental misstep, didn't it? If we had resolved Sheoldred on turn 1, I guess then we wouldn't have had a Hull Breacher. Our hand was a bit anemic because of the double ritual, but it wasn't exactly bad. No, I think this is just kind of, I don't really know. I don't really think there was a huge change that I could have made in play. Like, maybe we could have had a negation in our deck or in our post board or something, but were we supposed to mull? I think keeping turn 1 Sheoldred is fine. I mean, maybe we need to respect more powerful turns from them, but I don't know. Like, if they had banked on a Saga hand, keeping turn 1 Sheoldred is, like, really good, right? Took the L. Sheoldred mirror down. Okay, here we go. Round 2, Vintage Challenge. We're up against Tendrils for the win. I wonder if they have Tendrils as well. God, why can't I have some payoff spells? Look how much jewelry I have. This is like what being rich is like. All the jewelry, but no happiness at the end. Damn it. I don't trust myself enough to hit the spells I need here. I've played enough PO to know I won't hit there. This hand's much better anyways. This is nice. We have a Mana Crypt top, spin top, and we have the option to fetch away, and we have the option to play Hull Breacher. Pretty nice. All I had to do was just draw the perfect cards, you know? Simple. Easy. What do we got? We've got... Okay, so I could draw with top Mystical for Twister. If I wanted to, depending on the matchup. I also have the ability to Flusterstorm. So... Is there any world... Yeah, I guess what we want to do is leave the Fluster on top. Because there could be a world where I play a Hull Breacher in response to an Ancestral, they force it, and then I draw Fluster. And then I crack away my top and Fluster. Yeah, that could happen. And then on my upkeep... I think this is just fine to go this way. It's like the most conservative line, but I think it's okay. I think it helps us play around the most things. My opponent just negated my Black Lotus. Pitching Daze with 4 cards left. Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, now I'm definitely drawing Fluster into top, hopefully. Hopefully I don't have to use this Fluster on turn 1, so I don't have to fetch away my top, but... Is it Dark Ritual? Oh. What is happening? All right. I think I'm just fine with this. I'm going to just draw the mystical, or sorry, just draw the Fluster, hold up in the Fluster, and then I can draw mystical and go for like Tinker. Well, now if they're going to hold everything up. I mean, if they have Thoughtseize negation days, I can't really rule out them also having Fluster. I think I'm just gonna wait. I'll go for an end step mystical, and then I don't lose anything. I keep my top, I keep my everything. All right, this feels pretty free. Should I just spin first? Yeah, I think that's not bad. Merchant Scroll. It's another reasonable option. We don't have a lot of blue mana, though. The problem is if I go Mystical Tinker, it's really hard to protect myself from Fluster. So maybe I just want to go... What else can I Mystical for? Not Dredgevine, not Vine cards. It's really a lot of 3-mana spells, right? Unless I were to Mystical for Ancestral. Maybe that's actually the best play. What if I just Mystical Ancestral? It's bad against Misstep. But it has the least amount of things that can happen to me that are bad. It seems a little risk averse, but I don't think I hate it either. What else do we have on our top here? Cool. It just, yeah, it does run into Misstep, but it doesn't run into Fluster, which is kind of the thing that I'm probably the most scared will happen to me. I do want to cast it now, because I think gaining the additional Moxen and everything is really strong. Obviously, it plays into... So they had Mystical Pitching Force. They have 2 cards left. Do I care? I almost don't care. We didn't go for Tinker because it was really bad into Fluster. Like, we wouldn't have been able to play Hull Breachers or Sheoldred or anything afterwards. We went for Ancestral because it was the best into Fluster. I think I just don't care about this. I think we just hold open, Hull Breacher, Fluster. I mean, my opponent is very clearly a combo deck. Okay, this is good. They're going to go for their own Ancestral, and we're going to wreck them here. Yeah, this is going to work out really well for us. I think we played this game as risk-averse as possible and probably got paid off for it. I mean, if my opponent goes Ancestral, we have Hull Breacher. If they go, like, if they have been sandbagging a Moxen and go Tinker, we have Fluster. Like, they don't think there's anything here that can really wreck us. We'll have to see. Okay, so they're going to hold on to Fluster, so I'm just going to wait and naturally draw this Hull Breacher. Huh. Okay, we'll just keep going. I mean, you vamped for Ancestral, right? I mean, maybe they vamped for Tinker, and they just... I'm going to have to cast this eventually. Man, this is weird. They're just going to keep holding it forever? I guess it's not a huge deal if I just Fluster it. Whatever. Feels weird. Like, I feel like they could have cast this Ancestral at any point. I guess if they've been holding a Fluster this whole game, I absolutely get wrecked by this line, but... I don't know. I kind of ruled out Fluster after the last turn, but maybe they do still have another Fluster. No. That was really weird. I feel like I played that badly somehow. I'm gonna naturally draw here, just in case I draw Sheoldred and can cast it. Oh no, I knew there was a Mox on top. I should not have naturally drawn there. I should have... Well, I mean, now I can still cast Sheoldred. Jeez. Those are not good magic cards for me. Guess we'll take an Academy next turn. So the problem is I used up my Hull Breacher and my Fluster, so now I'm like super exposed to... I guess they could be playing Doomsday? Like, we're not super exposed to Doomsday itself, but... Well, we're currently racing our own Hull Breacher here. Sure. I think I'm just gonna do that. I should have probably floated the mana first. It's fine. Just to get a card away. Yeah, I probably should have just played everything out so I could still play a whole Sheoldred this turn. Maybe we'll find a... Ooh, my lord. All of these cards look winning. And by that I mean the non-Dark Ritual cards. I don't think there's any reason to cast anything on this turn. I think we just want to naturally draw Tinker, and then we'll draw Yogwill if Tinker gets countered. Yeah, we actually have 2 Tinkers on the top of our library. Kind of crazy. I still don't know what my opponent is playing. Maybe they are playing Doomsday and they just drew a bunch of like Preordains and my Hull Breacher stopped them. I wish we would stop losing life though. All right, Force pitching Preordain. Yogwill is such a good card. So can I go... Is it possible for me to get Mystical, Time Walk, and Hull Breacher? How much mana do I have? I have 6 mana. So no. I could Mystical and Time Walk, cast Ancestral, and Time Walk. Oh my god, you're right. Every time. I still keep forgetting that. gives me 2 extra mana. So I would have 3, 6. So I would have 5, 7, 7 mana. I can go Mystical, 6, Time Walk, 4, Preordain, 3. I still can't get a lethal though. I still can't get lethal that way. We can Mystical Twister. Yeah, that's still an option. Mystical. Yeah, I mean that one's not even remotely close. Maybe that's just worth it. I would like to have a way to like play a second Hull Reacher or something. But this is probably fine. Should probably attack first. Maybe I shouldn't have Ancestral. Like, what's happening? It's a dig through time looking for a force. How did we not cast that in response to Yogwill? Oh! Fair. So I could have played around that by Ancestraling them. And using Preordain. I don't know if that matters very much. Yeah, I don't know. It feels really sus to Ancestral them, but maybe it was fine. It's pretty hard for them to have a Fatal Push at that point, but I don't know. There was definitely options there. I'm not convinced that I took the best choice. I think I played the beginning section of that game extremely well, but I don't really think I played the Yogwill turn particularly great. Purchase my own truck, gone into a business for yourself. Awesome. I'm happy for you. All right, so Ashiok is great against Doomsday, and that's it. That's the only card. We're pretty much pre-boarded for Doomsday. I think we'll just take Windfall out on the draw for Ashiok, and then none of this other stuff looks good. Like, I could maybe have a Dismember if they have something I would care about, but... Ooh, my delivery's here. All right, we're gonna get that after this round and set it up on stream. That's so hype. Yeah, sure. This seems fine. It's a little low on counters for Doomsday, but Misstep is just so good against their deck. I think it's reasonable. I'm just gonna Misstep this. I really like it against Doomsday. I think just like keeping them not being able to sculpt is really powerful. Whoa, 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 whoa. Does that change anything here? Does that change anything here? I don't think that changed anything right now. I think we still am just going to cast Ponder. This doesn't mean we can't have Force. But we did just draw Fluster Time Walk, so... Alright, I mean, if we don't die on turn 2, if we don't just, like, naked die on turn 2, we're going to be in a okay spot this game. But this is definitely a possibility. My opponent just goes Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Preordain, and throw 3-card combo. Pretty reasonable. Alright, now they know. Am I dead? Am I dead? Time to find out. Demonic Tutor, okay. Well, if they have Black Lotus, Doomsday, Gush. Yeah, uh-oh. So they have to have, or Street Wraith. So oh, what is this? What is this? What is that, a Sedgemoor Witch? Hello? Opponent. I like it. I like that we didn't die to Doomsday on this turn. All right, so should we go Dark Ritual, Demonic? Oh, man. I don't think so. I don't want to get I don't want my Time Walk to get dazed here, though. I think I'm just going to pass. I don't really like the other show. I don't think playing a 2-drop and getting dazed and being flustered down is good. It's a Thoughtseize. All right, well, they know about my fluster. I'm just going to fluster it. I guess if they have a fluster backup, they get a really nice... Oh, I guess they know I have a Dark Ritual, so I can pay for a fluster. They could also pay for fluster if they have a mental misstep as well. They're just not going to. Okay. All right, okay. I mean, this game feels like a Hull Breacher wheel game, if I've ever seen one. What's this? Oh, all right, yeah. That's good. I mean, not exactly. So are they still Doomsday and they just have a Sedgemoor Witch? I think that's what's happening here. It looks like it's still Doomsday, but they boarded in Sedgemoor Witch. That's kind of what it feels like. Which I don't think is... I don't know. I like Sheoldred in that slot. A lot. I like Sheoldred a lot in that slot for Doomsday. All right, I know I'm drawing a fetch there. So I probably should have fetched away that... Well, I know I do want to hit fetch every turn here, so maybe it's fine. All right, let's increase our mana and increase our card count and then see what we can do on this turn. Opponent is still representing Fluster. We found the Natty Hull Breacher. Oh, no, I'm not criticizing them for that. I mean, you can choose a lot of things here. You can choose Murktide Regent, you can choose Tassiger, you can choose Gurmag Angler, you can choose Sedgemoor Witch, you can choose Sheoldred. There's a lot of choices. Now, what do we want to do? So if I Dark Ritual Demonic for a Fluster and then jam Hull Breacher, does that make sense? Dark Ritual, Demonic, 1 mana left over, play a Hull Breacher with Flusterstorm, then I get beat by Daze Fluster. I think this makes sense though. Maybe I should use the blue mana first. Are they just gonna misstep this? Okay. That's fine. Are we almost dead here? Yes, we are. Don't think I want to get dazed. I'm super scared of getting dazed. Just gonna go demonic. What am I gonna get on this demonic? I could get Black Lotus and go Hull Breacher. And then next turn go for Wheel. I might not even be supposed to play the Hull Breacher because they don't know about it. I think this is fine. What about saving 1 life? 3, 6. Don't think I care about saving 1 life. I think it's still better to try to beat a Preordain. Is it Dig or is it Treasure Cruise? Oh, they're playing Murktide Regent and Sedgemoor Witch. Okay. All right. Well, this has to work. If this doesn't work, we do lose. Nice. Okay. All right. Does this win for us somehow? Oh, yeah. We hit Yogwill. They're very dead. Cool. They're going to die to Sheoldred here. Wow. This is so sick. Oh, right. They don't draw any cards because of Hull Breacher. This is fine, though. We'll just eventually we'll kill them with something. We can just go Tendrils of Agony, right? That's fun. Wow, what a cool game. That was fun. This deck's really cool. Wait, maybe Hull Breacher is good. Don't tell Renee. Is Renee here? Oh, Renee's not here. Renee's not here. Whatever we do, don't tell Renee. I can't handle that kind of I told you so. Okay, here we go. Round 3, Vintage Challenge. I've got a Sheoldred. I'm going to keep. Mostly because of this Force of Will. Uh-oh. Black Lotus. Undercity Informer. Force backup. Sure looks like it. Narcomoeba. Yup. Oh, no force backup. That's nice. I thought for sure we were dead. It's the life I live, I guess. Medivh's also playing the other Popper thing, or yeah, Popper Super. All right, so let's see. They don't have access to Dark Ritual right now, but they could. Okay, no, nothing from this turn. I think we're gonna want to. I think we want to spin. It's tough to say because we could play a Sheoldred, but I think spinning and drawing the best card and playing a Hull Reacher sounds better to me. It's a little tough. It's a little close. Like, I really want to find another force if possible, or a mental misstep is pretty good. We can still just spin, play a Hull Breacher Iron Step, maybe Windfall. There's a lot of good things to do still. I think I just want to spin in my upkeep here and try to find the best cards. What do I have? Dark Ritual. Rainstorm Preordain. None of these cards really do anything. So none of these cards really help us against getting combo killed. I mean, we could Dark Ritual Sheoldred. The good news is that after we play these cards next turn, so after we Windfall next turn, we're going to draw a bunch of cantrips, which is kind of nice. So I think if I just draw the Dark Ritual for turn next turn, and then we go Dark Ritual Windfall, kind of feels like the best line. I don't know if they play like cantrips in this deck. I don't remember. Oh, see, now the problem is if this is a black mana and they Dark Ritual and kill us, we're going to be really sad. I guess we do get one spin for a look for a force. Yeah, black mana, Dark Ritual. I don't know. If we spin now, we still have access to Mental Misstep. I think I'm going to Dark Ritual. It doesn't give me enough to hardcast Force. I mean, this still lets me spin and draw and play Hull Breacher, right? So maybe it's still worth it. No. So Brainstorm does technically get us what? We'll see the same 3 cards, so it doesn't actually get us farther down. Maybe we were supposed to just go crazy cantripping last turn. Like Preordain bottom, look for a force. I guess that would be a play we could have made. Yeah, the Brainstorm here doesn't do anything, right? Because I have to draw and replace my top, and then I know the 3 cards. Put 2 back, but I can't replay top, so... Excuse me. All right. So if my opponent has it, they have it. I don't really think the only thing I could have done is on my turn, instead of drawing Dark Ritual, I just draw Preordain bottom. So sad. Man, that's pretty crazy draw from them. Three Narcomoeba. Dread Return. Thassa's Oracle. Well, spinning and brainstorming doesn't do anything because you know the 3 cards that you're brainstorming. It's not like we get to replay top and spin again, right? So we didn't actually go 1 deeper. That's really frustrating. Like I said, I could have changed my line though. Instead of just waiting for 1 more turn, I could have tried to use Preordain and dug really hard for a force. And maybe I was supposed to do that. It's not unreasonable to think that was something I might have been supposed to do. Man. Pretty brutal though. I don't actually dig 1 deeper because it doesn't change the cards that I have. Like I draw, I put top into the top of my library, and I get a brainstorm, and I cast brainstorm, and I draw top in the other 2 cards, right? And like it doesn't actually change anything. What cards do I need to take? How do I take out cards here? I guess I could take out Windfall, Tendrils, Mystical, Vamp. I don't even know if Mystical and Vamp are necessarily bad. Just like looking for cards to take out. 1 Sheoldred, 1 Dark Ritual or something. That doesn't make sense. Let's keep Vamp and take out a Preordain. Not really sure. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that I just should not have gone for... Ugh. what is this? This is so close. Just need some Moxen off of my probe. It's really frustrating. No, it doesn't do it. I don't think I can keep that one either. This is nonsense. All right, I guess I'm mulligan again. All right. Gotta force a ley line and a needle, which is a lot. Yeah, maybe I could have. If I spend the next turn there casting Preordain and Brainstorm to try to find a force, am I still able to Hull Breacher Wheel? I don't think so. I don't think I'll have enough mana, right? That's my big concern was I wouldn't actually have enough mana after. All right. Well, the good news is that I have Leyline and I have Needle on Charbelcher. They just have Misstep. All right. I'm gonna not force over Misstep though. If they want to go like put a bunch of mana in and play a Charbelcher, I think that's fine. I will force that. I also kind of want to hold this Hull Breacher as my way to win the game. Maybe draw a different blue card somewhere along the lines. I mean, if they just have Black Lotus, Charbelcher, force back up, then it is what it is. All right. So they have one card left, one extra mana, and we have a Leyline. Our opponent also mulliganed quite aggressively there as well. That's a good draw. Don't think there's a... I guess negation is a reason to wait. But if they had negation, they would have just negated on... I'll just Ancestral on their turn. It's fine. There's like very few plays I'm going to make on that turn. Never mind. I could have, played them all out on that turn. What is happening? Okay. The good news is if we have a wheel, we have plenty of mana post wheel. All right, they found their black mana. Hull Breacher. This represents Hardcast Force plus Hull Breacher, which is something. Oh, I found the Yogg-Will. I think I'm willing to not use the pedal to... I mean, does that really help us? Does not using the pedal really help? I guess it doesn't matter. Can't imagine this isn't good enough. What can I merchant scroll for? Just force fluster. Let's just cast Ancestral first. Twisties. That seems good. I am the CEDH now. Chain of Vapor. Cool. We may have a few pieces of mana. Okay, that should be good. Wait, did I take out Tendrils? I did. I took out Tendrils. Is Citadel lethal? Wait, nothing here is actually lethal, right? I guess I can put a Citadel in play and Time Walk somehow. Wheel is also good. Like, we could definitely wheel. Nothing just actually kills my opponent because I took Tendrils out, right? But yeah, I mean, we could just like play Hull Breacher and wheel again. Could do that. I think I would probably go for Citadel. Because Citadel is going to be... It's not even lethal on the next turn. It's probably still Citadel, though. I don't think like I want to be storm killing my opponent. I don't think that's like how we're going to win the game. So I'm not super into that, but... I don't think it matters, though. Like, my opponent lost their whole hand and we have infinite mana, right? So it's just fine. I think it's okay. Man, that is certainly a hand of Magic the Gathering cards. I don't think this is keep. As much as I'd like to have 2 ley lines, maybe I will keep it. Can always merchant for a force if I draw a different blue card as well. Fuck it. I got double ley line. You have a turn 1 Chop Belcher? Seagate Reborn. Ancestral. It's pretty good. 8 cards. Any land? Yeah, this is like a little sus hand, but 2 ley lines prevents a lot of the things that are happening. Not all of the things, but some of the things. Mana Crypt. I mean, we can wheel. Feels fine. I should have gone Petal Crypt Ruby, probably. All right, wheels happen. My opponent had a Charbelcher in their hand and double Pact of Negation. Oh, wow. But they, oh my lord, they didn't have another black source for the Chrome Mox. Oh my god, we're so lucky. Their hand was Pact, Charbelcher, Mox, Ritual, Narcomoeba. So I think I like Sheoldred here. I think I like Sheoldred more than Hull Breacher. They've already cast Ancestral anyways. And that way I could even pitch Ancestral and keep Brainstorm. The Phyrexian Praetor. They force it, so be it. I think that's okay. We don't have a Yogwell anymore for what it's worth. So we can't actually go back into our yard, but We do have our win con, so opponent can still have more Charbelchers or like an Echoing Truth maybe. Oh, Echoing Truth my Sheoldred? That's fine. I don't think I care about that. I kind of clicked through that a little fast, but I don't think that matters very much to me. Oh. Okay. I think I just let this resolve. If they have something, they're gonna take it. It's fine. Twister reshuffle, sure. Like if they want to take my Sheoldred, so be it. I think they'll probably take Force, right? Hmm. How many Charbelchers do these decks play these days? Is it 2? It kind of feels like they don't have a Charbelcher. Oh, they took the Brainstorm. Interesting. Why would they take the Brainstorm? Again, if this gets forced, pitching packed, I think that's fine. Like, I have another threat. I can draw another blue. Not like thrilled about it, but I don't think it's a bad. Maybe I'll just die to. All right, so this is. I'll be one short no matter what, but I could also play 2 Hull Breachers, so I will. Oh, Sheoldred getting out of Charbelcher range? That would be pretty funny. Yep. We need to go find out how many Charbelchers are in typical Oops All Spells lists these days. Medivh's last list played 1 Charbelcher main, 3 Charbelchers board. Wow, okay. All right, so I'm going to play double Breacher here. Man, keeping this hand was kind of wild, huh? Oh, they're going to play something? Oh, no, they played a Seagate. Sure. So they have their own Hardcast Force? I have double Breacher. Not exactly a 2-turn clock. Lost another flip. Drew another ley line. Well, we have Hardcast Force, and we've got 6 power. What do you got for us? They can always play things in block. They have a black mana, so they could play like an Undercity Informer as a 2/3 or the flying one, which I think I would let resolve. Maybe I wouldn't. Is this a Belcher? No, it's a Balustrade Spy. Do I want to force this? If I take 3 and go to 7 and 5 and go to 2, if I let it resolve, I deal 3 to 4. They go to 1 and they have to have Charbelcher plus mana. I think I'm supposed to force this. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I think it's reasonable. Oh, they forced back. Okay, that's weird. I don't think that helps your clock, though. Because now... It doesn't really help their clock situation, though. Because now it's still 2 turns. This messed up is actually not horrible either. Maybe they have a second one. I think it makes sense to just play this. Don't think it matters very much, but... if they have another blocker, and I could theoretically die to my mana crypt, I guess. Okay. The force from them was kind of weird, wasn't it? It kind of feels like it was a little weird. I won that flip. Oh, that's a good draw. Okay, we snuck by that one. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, we take those. Okay, round 4, we continue. It's not going too badly today. I like what we've seen from our deck so far. This is definitely the area where the Dark Rituals look a bit awkward. Really not much to do with this Dark Ritual here. I don't even know if this is a hand I'm willing to keep. It just doesn't do anything on turn 1, and then on turn 2, like, we could Tinker or Sheoldred or something, but I guess if we got a wheel, we would have 1, 2, 3, 5 mana, which is just not enough mana. It's kind of awkward that this is a hand that just doesn't seem like a keep to me. It just doesn't... If it casts... Obviously, I mean, any hand that casts turn 1 Hullbreaker is probably a keep, but... Well, the problem is I just don't do anything on my turn. Like, what if they're Bazaar? I'm just lost? But maybe... I mean, maybe we're looking at a turn 2 Time Twister, or a turn 3 Time Twister. Maybe that's fine. Kind of depends on what they're playing. I guess we also have access to Breacher with Dark Ritual. All right, you know what? Let's try it. I've been convinced. The more you look, the worse the hand gets. The more I look, the more I was likely to keep it. Interesting. I think this is like... It's possible this is like I think there's a good chance we don't vamp on turn 1. All right. It kind of depends on what they're playing as well. We do have like some interesting lines. We have things like Dark Ritual, Hold Reacher, Vamp on turn 2. We could also just play Hold Reacher or Narset. Kind of just depends on what they play here. That's not good. Okay. That's a lot of mana. Is it going to be a Saga? It's going to be an Academy. Okay. All right. Well, it seems like a decent Hold Breacher matchup. If they didn't have Ancestral already. Of course. That's unfortunate. We drew the Sheoldred. Hmm. Kind of wish we just drew Force. I don't know what the optimal choice is here. This vamp is just so awkward. I'm just gonna hold everything up. I don't think I like playing Sheoldred. Maybe we should just mulligan this hand. We could have vamped for force, but then I think it leaves us too weak on mana. I think we like need. I really wanted to vamp for a wheel. And I wanted to blind into like force, or I think just like restricting my draw for turn 1 is not good here. But I also think we're just gonna lose to this ancestral, unfortunately. Like the nice part about this is we can go Hull Breacher and Vamp, and we have 2 threats. Yo, what's up? Why is it bad? Because I think it's a misuse of our resources. I think Hull Breacher is more likely to keep us alive. Saga. They have infinite mana here. Should I vamp first to play around Fluster? No, I actually don't. But I want to know if this Hull Breacher resolves. I mean, it's possible that we're just going to be playing Narset no matter what. I don't know. I don't really like how I play this game. Like, if they were to Fluster here, I would just pay, get a Force, and play a Narset. Oh, okay. Yeah, That's what happens when Ancestral resolves. All right, Hull Breacher resolved. So now we get an open draw. That is like the worst thing. I wanted a force or a land. But I guess we'll just have to accept that. How about a force off of this Narset? Windfall, Dark Ritual. Well, I'm going to take Black Lotus. I think taking Windfall is too greedy. All right. I just don't know what's in my opponent's hand at this point in the game. Maybe just a bunch of sagas. Who knows? We have to start seriously considering what we're doing with this mystical. We can never really use Flusterstorm to protect our spell. We don't even have enough blue cards to protect our spell with force. We can't really beat their Fluster that well. I mean, we're just never going to do anything about that, right? So, man, like they've played 5 restricted cards. 6 restricted cards, I guess. Don't know. I feel like there's just so many ways we die, and we can't really worry about that. We have to try to figure out what we can do. Let's see. If we were to mystical for Twister, we are not able to beat Fluster. Yeah, that's a lot of mana. Okay, 4 cards. It's kind of like the reason why I didn't want to do Windfall is like they could just empty their hand and make it bad. Okay, I mean, that should kill us, right? Can't imagine that doesn't kill us. They did use a land drop, though, to make the black mana. So the best thing is Tinker, right? Because we have a Hull Breacher and a Narset. So they just have to hit Tinker off of this Demonic. Yeah, uh-huh. Okay. I guess they can just Vault Key. I'm almost tempted in that situation for them to just get the Time Vault and then get the Manifold Key off of Saga. Is that not unreasonable? Huh. Okay. What do we want to do? Mystical for what? I'm not sure we're supposed to mystical. I'm not convinced any mystical is good here. Because wheel looks pretty bad. Or like wheel or twister or anything like that. I don't think that looks good. I'm going to just hold this and draw. Feels bad, but that is a definite upside of holding and drawing. Now we have access to force. Now we have a second force. The problem is I need to play this Sheoldred, right? Because I'm not really pressuring. Guess we just take the Brainstorm, though. Can't attack because they have a huge construct. They can't fluster this, so they have to have force. They can have force and fluster, obviously. Okay. So help me chip down on them a little bit. All right, I mean, they can hit me with a, super huge construct and a key. But I will at least be able to draw and gain a bunch of life and that kind of thing, so. I could also mystical brainstorm. I can't ancestral target them. That doesn't really work with what I have currently set up. I have a Narset and a Hull Breacher. Brainstorm is not 6 damage. It gains me 6 life. If they cast the Brainstorm like our first round opponent, then maybe Pyroblast on my Hull Breacher. Off the top. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to let this happen. Well, I mean, Citadel could be a Vault Key. I mean, they might still hit Vault Key off of their Citadel, right? Like, Citadel is the highest possible roll. Like, they should probably just get Key here anyways. It's going to make their things unblockable. It's almost not even bad if they kill my Narset, because it opens me up to go for Mystical Ancestral, target them for 6 damage. Which maybe is a way we can win. There's not that many ways we can win currently. We're just so far behind because our opponent played all the best cards. Just all the good restricted cards from that deck. So it's going to be tough. The main deck Pyro was brutal there. Don't like that. It's either... Otakun, I think, likes to play the Hull Breacher deck, so it might not be Breach. It might just be Grixis Tinker. But it could be Breach as well. Yeah, I'm definitely going to cast Brainstorm at the end of turn here. Try to gain 6 life. Another Saga. All right. I'm going to cast this Brainstorm. They might counter it just because it's annoying. If it resolves, we can still Mystical as well. As they had a Flusterstorm in their hand the whole time. Okay. So it's actually kind of annoying that our Narset won't let us kill them with a wheel. I think we're probably still wheeling, though. Maybe? I don't know. I can't force back up, but we probably are still just supposed to wheel. The question is, do we Twister or wheel? Could also Ancestral. Ancestral actually beats a second Fluster for whatever that's worth. I don't think I want to Twister them. So I think I'm just going to go wheel. No, our Yogg line is really rough because of... Well, hold on. I had initially ruled out Yogg, but we do have a land. So if we were Yogg, Lotus, Ritual... What about a Tendrils? Do we have a Tendrils line? Yogg, Lotus, Ritual... Vamp, Tendrils, Brainstorm. Might have a Tendrils kill. Yogg. Lotus is 3 black. 5 black. 4 black. Brainstorm into... how many is that? That looks super close. Yogg, Lotus, Ritual, Vamp, Brainstorm, Tendrils, and then they die on their upkeep. Yeah, let's go for it. I cast the Brainstorm with the fetch land. All right, they had a force on top of their library. That's definitely unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm not beating that. So now we want to draw, obviously we want to draw Time Twister or Wheel of Fortune. Because I have to chump block. All right. Nah, I mean chump block. All right, so Wheel, Twister are only good draws, probably. They had a Force of Negation on top. All right. We were outdone by our opponent's draws. Our draws were good, but our opponents were a bit better. Damn. That's sus. It's so brutal. All right, well, we're going to bring in an Ashiok here. And I think I'm going to bring in... We didn't see a Hull Breacher. I'm going to bring in Ashiok Needle, and I'm going to take out Mystical and Wind... I kind of want to keep Windfall on the play here. That's true. They didn't even draw them. So their top decks were... Like, is this still considered a top deck if you cast it off the top there? I'm going to take out 1 Ritual and 1 Mystical. Let's play like this. Blah, 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 blah. That was brutal. Very sad day. Lighting is here. Let's go. Go down and get that after this. I mean, I'm not even sure that's a Saga win. I'm pretty sure that's still a Tinker Citadel win. Because I'm pretty sure we were beating Saga tokens very easily there. It was kind of just the Citadel showing them enough counters to beat us, right? I don't really even consider Saga winning the game there. I'm still consider Tinker to be the game-winning play. Yeah, I mean, we're doing this. I think Narset was fine. Like, it doesn't actually end up mattering that we had a Narset in play. Don't think that was a huge deal. It was like a little annoying, and it definitely is like a little annoying that Sheoldred doesn't play super well with like Hull Breacher and Narset. But I don't think that kind of you know, little bit of a Nambo is like a huge deal. You want as many cards to facilitate your Twister as possible, and Sheoldred's just so good on its own. And even when you are, you know, not getting the extra life and stuff. Man, another Mana Crypt game. Okay. Sensei's top. All right. Yep. I mean, we're doing our thing, and if our opponent beats it, they beat it. If not, then they don't. So, wow. Should we just do that instead? Hmm. No, I don't think so. I don't know if it's better to cast this now or later. Obviously, if they get like Force of Will and Force of Negation, this is better. But like playing this at end of turn in response to the first spin doesn't even matter because they can just spin again. So I don't think my timing matters very much on this Hull Breacher unless they have Force of Will and Force of Negation. So maybe I'm supposed to just cast it on their upkeep then. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm supposed to cast it on their upkeep. I guess I should have done that. Well, I'm just gonna force it. This is like a time they can't fluster was kind of the reason, but they also can't fluster on their upkeep, so they should have double force. I mean, they have brain freeze, so they are on breach. Okay, we got a Hull Breacher. I mean, they can also just like spin into a Pyroblast, Power Blast my Hull Breacher, and we lose the game as well. Like we're pretty much all in on Hull Breacher, force backup Twister. That's our whole game here. And it's not a bad plan, but it's definitely a plan that, you know, if my opponent has two answers, that we lose to, right? Like all they need is fetch land here. Okay. So they also have a, oh man. So all they have to do is have fluster or okay, so what I'll do is I'll bait with this needle. I might not even win the game after a time twister. My opponent has Vault Key. So maybe I actually have to name Vault Key here. I wanted to name Sensei's top. I'm just gonna name Manifold Key. That way I can keep playing the game after I get this Fluster Stormed or Pyroblasted. That just happens? Okay, I guess I don't need to name top because they can't draw with top because of Hull Breacher. So we just win here off this Tendrils, right? I think so. So we can just go Vamp, Yogg. Let's see. This is the 13, so I need to do 7. Just preordain. Oh, preordain ancestral. Yeah, sure. This is fine. I probably should have vamped for Lotus there, actually. Because now I don't have access to load it. I guess I have enough Storm now, so everything is fine. I wanted to hold priority there, but it didn't let me. This is fine. Whee! This deck's sweet. I'm a fan. Oh boy. Oh boy, we are cooking tonight. Oh man. Well, I don't want to reveal my hand, but I think I accidentally did. Yeah, that worked very well. So they are on Breach. I still don't think I want to bring in like ley lines for Breach. I really don't like doing that in the current stage of Breach things. They are definitely a more Tinker heavy Breach deck. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried so I have a video coming out on Monday, which is the league we played on stream on Wednesday. And at the end of that league, I made some changes and proposed a new version of the deck. And then I tried the new version of the deck, and it was not good. I went like 0-4 drop. And so I went back to the more Tendrils thing. It's possible that I have the build wrong. Like maybe I'm supposed to be playing more like Andreas Echo Baron's deck where you play sagas instead of dark rituals. That could totally be true. I just like would rather play the dark rituals and then play sagas. So, but yeah, I went back to I basically just took the list from Wednesday and I cut the bad like the truly bad cards like Words of Wisdom, and just played real cards basically. My opponent has mulligan to 5. This is good for the home team. I don't exactly know my sequence here, but it probably involves time walking and then figuring out later what we're doing after that. This deck seems pretty reasonable, though. How's Echo Baron doing, actually? That's a question. Oh, 2-2. Lost. We won 1. Okay. We need to win all of our matches from here on out. So hopefully we can continue doing that on this one. It's whatever. Crypt just reads deal 3 damage to me. I just have to take the hits. Opponent is deep in the tank on their 5-card mulligan. I think it's likely that I send the ancestral out as bait for pyro bait. Oh, they have their own ancestral. Interesting. All right. Oh, I don't have to bait anything. I can just see what's in your hand. That's so dumb. I hate Gitaxian Probe. Ruins magic. Okay, my opponent should be dead then. That is... So they were on Hull Breachers. We should have brought in Dismember. That doesn't kill my opponent, right? Because I have 5 mana right now. I needed to hit a Moxen. But I have Yogwill Time Walk, which might do it. Don't know exactly. Let's see. I currently have 5 mana. Okay, so if I go Yogwill, Probe, Time Walk, then I can go Hull Breacher, Wheel. Oh, did I miss another Ancestral Opponent line? You're right. I missed another Ancestral Opponent line. I don't know why. That one is... I just miss every single time, but you were totally right. I keep forgetting about it. I don't know why I missed that one every single time. Yeah, I know. I keep missing Ancestral, my opponent. I know. This line ended up being way worse. So, for what it's worth. I just... It's not in my brain's heuristics yet. We'll get there. Renee would know. Oh, wow. This was not exactly a great one. But it's fine. Yeah, so what the chat is saying is on turn 1, we could have gone Hull Breacher, Ancestral, my opponent, and then cast Wheel. Which is what we should have done. It just, like I said, it hasn't gotten to me yet. And I have missed it multiple times now, so. Yeah. It seems real good to be Renee. Not gonna lie to you, Slasher. Feels great. The only match we've lost was the mirror. All right, still cooking. 3-1 in the 3-1 bracket here with Not Me. Not Me is playing a blue-red Caves of the Chaos Adventure. Caves of Chaos Adventure. Adventures of the Caves of Chaos. Sweet deck. We'll probably end up playing it on stream at some point. This hand actually is something I think I'm willing to keep. I have 2 draws for land. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't have enough lands in my deck for this. 13 and Badlands doesn't count. So 12, Sapphire 13, Lotus 14, Petal 15. 15 on... Maybe that's not actually good. I have a Force, though. And it's so good. I think this is, like, pretty close to being good. I don't know why that cardboard live link is broken. You're right. I don't know what's going on there. It's on Twitter, though, for sure. Oh, man, this link is... Oh, this hand is, like... I'm gonna keep it. It's like super risky, but I kind of like having Force, double draw, and any blue land, any land really gets us there. It's probably a little bit more on the risky side than I should be keeping, but really like having a Force. They have a Ancestral? No. Okay. All right, well, I didn't hit my land. They have Time Walk, Strip Mine, Shredder, Cruise. So their hand doesn't really do anything either. I'm going to hold my Mana Crypt. It's fine. I just think the hand is good. Like, I think the cards in it are good. Looks real bad for us here, though. Shredder, I think, is fine, because if we can go deploy a Hull Breacher, it's really good against Shredder. I mean, if we just never hit a land, then we never hit a land, so be it. I'm going to play out this Mana Crypt, though. It's going to help us not play 2 spells into Shredder. Looks like we'll probably lose, though, I guess. I don't know. I still think if we hit a land right now, we're going to be winning. It's just so good against their deck. This hand is just very good against what they're doing. They went bottom, bottom. Are they gonna time walk? Kind of think I'm gonna force this time walk. I really need to get the 1 turn. Okay, I think this is the turn. This is what, my 4th draw? Or my 3rd draw, maybe? Got there. No, I'm just gonna deploy this whole breacher. I mean, maybe we're not winning from here. Oh, they drew Force of Will? Okay, well, then we lost. They actually drew 2 forces in the 2 draw steps of this game. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we lose. It wasn't even like they pitched the Treasure Cruise to force. They actually just drew 2 forces. I think if we had... I mean, if they drew force on the first turn of this... Jeez, they got so much value off of this stuff. Maybe it was just a mulligan. I could have forced the Shredder as well. I just felt like the Shredder wasn't the problem. Like, all we wanted to do was go land, Hull Breacher with force backup. But if I had let them time walk, they just get too much value with Treasure Cruise the next turn, plus spell. I just think it looks really bad. Yeah. Still not sure. Still not sure. They also had Strip Mine, which was pretty rough for us, but yeah, it was a risky hand, I guess. I didn't really think it was that bad, though. Man, if we had cast Ancestral, we would have been equally unhappy. So I'm going to bring... I know they have Wastelands in their deck. I'm going to definitely bring in Island. I don't think I'm going to bring in Swamp. We just made this deck. Where is it? This is what our opponent is playing. Opponent is playing or similar to this. I've already made changes. So their deck can't beat a Sphinx of the Steel Wind, but they are going to be on triple Pyroblast. Yeah, I'm going to bring in Sphinx instead of Citadel, and I'm going to bring in Dismember, and I'm going to take out Mystical, and I'm going to take out Windfall. Just because it's a Pyroblast deck, I don't think those are what we want to be doing. And then this is a little bit of a better spot, I think. Maybe the Tendrils is not great, but it's possible I want to have basic Swamp as well, actually. Maybe we'll play like 1 less Dark Ritual. Seems fine. I think we can just be a little less all in and a little more focused on resolving the correct spells. Jeez, okay, we'll mulligan. I guess we're gonna keep this, though it's got some serious issues as well. But at least I can fetch basic. I mean, the problem is this is no black mana. Their hand is Hull Breacher. They have their 1 Hull Breacher. Island Strip Mine again. And they also have turn 1 Ledger Shredder. All right, I mean, I think we're pretty much going to die here as well. My opponent's hands would have just been much better than ours. Don't really know. Like, obviously, we could have mulliganed our game 1 hand, but... Like, I'm not mulliganing this hand, but I'm also not beating what my opponent is playing here. Yep. Hey, look, it's all my lands. It's kind of a anticlimactic way to get knocked out of top 8, but I don't know, like yeah. One time I have all of my lands, and one time I have none of my lands. To be fair, I am a deck with not very many cantrips, but yeah, I don't know. I kept 2 lands probe and drew 4 lands, and I kept no lands probe and I drew no lands, so magic. Yeah. Okay. No, because my opponent is going to murder my lands. I want to have as many lands as I can on the turn I need to have as many lands as I can. Like, I can't fetch a base. If I could fetch basics, I would fetch basic swamp and basic island. But my opponent has a strip mine in play. Like, I knew they have a wasteland and they have a strip mine. So it's like, what are we really doing with fetching? I don't think fetching does anything besides kill me faster. Yeah, well, I mean, I can draw Tinker. Tinker or Sphinx into play. Or I can draw a Dark Ritual, I guess. Okay. Well, this was very awful. Yeah, I don't really think this is going to work, but I think I'm just going to get just some underground seas, I guess. I don't really think it makes a difference. There's a Hole Breacher in play. What am I even doing? Cool. All right, awesome. Yep, nothing matters. I don't think I could have drawn worse in that game. And then game 1, I probably should have mulliganed, I guess, but I don't know. I think it's like within the range of risk worth keeping. Like, my hand is extremely good if I draw lands and I have a couple draws to do so. I don't know. I'm willing to take some of those risks, and it's okay. Sometimes if you take those risks, you have to be willing to have them not pay off, and they didn't pay off, so. All right, here we go. Round 6 and final round of the Vintage Challenge. We're playing Sheoldred Wheels. We've got a nice hand with a Hole Breacher, a Force, a Wheel. What more could you ask for? Bazaar is a little rough here, especially if they're on Dredge. Dredge is probably the worst possible thing that could happen here. This hand is not super well equipped, though Twister is not terrible. Okay, so it's not Dredge. It's actually Squeevine. And Hole Breacher is actually quite good against Squeevine, which is nice. We don't have the ability to play a Hole Breacher immediately, which is unfortunate. But we did draw another blue spell, which I like. Definitely going to play our fetch land so that we can't get wastelanded. And then I think next turn, it's very likely we're going to go Dark Ritual Hole Breacher when they tap their Bazaar. And hopefully with 1 force, that gets through. And that's our plan. See how it goes. They have already gotten 2 Bazaar activations because they were on the play. They have 2 Master of Deaths and a Wasteland was pitched. I don't think I want a Mystical for anything. I think I'm going to pitch Mystical to Force. That leaves us open to still win the game with Hole Breacher Twister combo. So I think I'm just going to naturally draw. The question really becomes, do we want to wait until, or do it in their up? No, I think we have to hit them when they activate, right? I think we probably have to hit them when they activate. It's kind of rough to give them back these masters to fuel forces. That's the only reason I'm thinking about, like, in response to the masters, we do a Hull Breacher, but then they get to activate. We could do it on our turn, but then we're exposing ourselves to negation. We're always going to expose ourselves to Mindbreak Trap, which is just, I think, an unfortunate circumstance, just because we have to Dark Ritual. All right, so this is the big point of the game. We're going to cast Dark Ritual Hull Breacher with Force Backup. I don't know. They still have enough cards in hand where they get to activate in response. I don't think I like that. Maybe it's fine, though. I'm not sure. I probably should have fetched... They can also have Mental Misstep, I guess. All right. All right, so if they have to have Force, or Force Mindbreak Trap. So here's a Force pitching a negation. Here is a Force pitching a mystical. And do you have a second Force or a Mindbreak Trap? They have 2 Force of Wills. I mean... Okay. Jeez. They're only 14 cards in, right? Pretty brutal. We can still draw another Hull Breacher. Dark Ritual. I think I'm going to play top spin. I don't want to Twister right now. I think I need to try to find a Hull Breacher or a Sheoldred or something. Sheoldred seems pretty decent against their deck as well. I found Tinker Emerald. Okay. This is kind of awkward. So I'll be at 14. So I think what I actually have to do is cast Twister as bait. It's not even good. I guess I can just Tinker off the top. Well, then I can't draw them to Force. None of this really works out in a way that is super good for me. I can Dark Ritual, Tinker off the top. And then I just don't have a follow-up. I guess what we can do is we can Twister and have Force backup. I think that's the best play then. We draw Force, we cast Dark Ritual Twister, and then if we need to, we can draw into Tinker and Force. The problem is my opponent is already going to be back up here to 4 cards in hand. Because they are... we got rid of one of the masters, so they're not gaining cards, but they are still Faithless Looting every turn. They did just get rid of a Mindbreak Trap, though. That's kind of helpful. We're lucky they didn't have a hollow one, so they haven't really put a clock on us. I guess theoretically we could draw Tinker and go for Tinker here. I just don't think that's good. The problem with the Tinker is that we don't have the second artifact. All right, let's twist. They had Force pitching. They just pitch Force. They just went Force, pitch Force. Okay, so next turn we can draw, and then we can... We're never going to have Force backup, so drawing Force was pretty bad. I think I'm still going to just force this. I think I need something. This gets rid of their master, but gives them 7 new cards. But they won't have very many forces. Oh, they will. They're all going back in. They lost 2 forces. We drew a new Hull Breacher with a bunch of forces, so maybe this is actually going to work. No, I wanted the floating mana. The question is, do we time walk? Or do we, man, we should run right into Mind Break Trap with any of this. I think I'm going to time walk to try to run around. Like, if they want to Mind Break Trap my time walk, it's better than the Mind Break Trapping my Hull Breacher, right? Yeah. I think I have to let that Mind Break Trap happen, and then on the next turn we can Hull Breacher. Maybe. I don't know. It might just be too late. Maybe I have to force. I really didn't want to get my Hull Breacher Mind Break trapped. Vengevine, Squee, and double Hollow one? I mean, sure. Guess that's what happens when you give them 7 fresh cards. Yeah, I guess I could have gone Hull Breacher Force. They still would have been able to play Vengevine, Hollow one, so maybe. Okay. This game was just very unfortunate, right? Like, we made them have double force for Hull Breacher. I don't know. Maybe the Twister play was bad, and I should have just gone for a Blind Citadel at like 12 life. Maybe that would have been better. But they had force, right? I had to force. It all just feels really awkward. Ashiok's not very good against my opponent's deck. Needle, Tabernacle, Leyline. Oh, maybe this is okay against my opponent's deck, but I don't feel like it's great. And then I'm going to play Island Swamp and Sphinx, obviously. And then I think Tendrils comes out. I think Windfall comes out. I think Wheel comes out. I think some of these Dark Rituals come out. I think Misstep comes out. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Maybe we can take out the Slow Tutors. And maybe another one of these. Seems like fine. Maybe we're allowed to play Ashiok, but I don't really want to play Ashiok here. All right, let's try again. Yeah, it's a hand. Keep. Wonder if I'm supposed to preordain here. I guess not. Guess we just go for Ancestral in there. Upkeep here. It's a lot of lands. Could end up being a problem. I wish I don't know. Maybe I could have played the first game a little different, but all right, let's get a basic island. Cast an Ancestral on myself. See if it resolves. Force. I'm gonna force back. We kind of need to find a Hull Breacher immediately. But we did this in their upkeep to play around negation. Oh, that's just resolving. Okay. We didn't find a Hull Breacher, but we did find at least a Tabernacle. That should help us stabilize if they murder us too badly on this turn 1. Double Master of Death, man. Certainly wish I had an Ashiok here. But we get to at least kill the 2 hollow ones. Maybe I'm supposed to bring in Ashiok. Ponder, sure. Guess this does play into a Mind Break. Oh, God. These all gotta go. Yogg. All right, so we're definitely not playing that this turn, though they are gonna get back 2 masters. The question is, will I put this Lotus in here? I want to be able to force my backup for my Yogg. I kind of need to. Resolved. Okay. Like I said, I think I'm going to not risk it too much here, and I'm just going to pass. And then next turn I have 3, 6, 7. I guess I don't have enough to force Yogg, but I could draw a blue card. I guess they could also Vigor me, but that's not that bad with Yogg. Okay. I get to at least not take 8 from Hollow Ones, but they are going to turn their their Bazaar into draw 1. So they go down to 5. They pitch 3 Squeeze and pass. I probably have to draw a blue card here. I guess I could have kept the Tolarian Academy, maybe. Oh, they're just going to kill those. Okay, yeah, sure. Same thing. Didn't draw a blue card. I don't think it gets better if I wait, so I am just going to jam. And I am going to use the ritual. This gets countered, we're pretty dead. I feel like every time I need to draw a spell, I draw a land, and every time I need to draw a land, I draw a spell. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what's the guy gonna do? This matchup is really tough. It's actually like kind of good for us because we have 6 creatures that are great against their deck. We have 4 Hullbreacher, 2 Sheoldred. All of those cards are very good against Bazaar of Baghdad. Especially when they're not dredging. Strip mine, yep. Alright, I kind of have to draw Sheoldred or Hullbreacher soon. They have Vengevine, Hollow One, Powder. All right, so I get to resolve. I don't have an Ancestral in my deck. What do I have in my deck? I have a Brainstorm. I have a Brainstorm. Okay. Brainstorm. I mean, I'm happy that I didn't draw these cards. I guess I will put back land. Well, I can play a Leyline. It's just going to be too late because they're going to play Hollow One. So I have to force Hollow One. So I guess I can put back both lands and then force Hollow One and play a Leyline, I guess. I don't know. I drew 3 cards this time, but none of the cards were good. Oh, they didn't choose to strip mine my Tabernacle. I guess they don't have the thing in play yet, so it doesn't matter. They found Rootwalla. Okay, fair enough. Well, now the problem is I think I needed to keep the Sphinx in my deck so I could tinker it. I guess a Sheoldred still does it. Did they just keep... Oh, yeah, they pitched all of this. Yeah, we're going to die. That's kind of all there is to it. Shit. I guess a Sheoldred is still what we're looking for, right? The problem is this Leyline is now a turn too late. And they're going to play Hollow One next turn. And we're already on a 2-turn clock. So it's going to be... We take 6, and then we have to draw Sheoldred. I guess we can technically draw Hull Breacher. That'll buy us a turn. if we don't force. I guess it technically buys us a turn if we do force, but yeah, everything turned out real bad. All right, we need to draw a creature this turn. Drew a whole breacher. Actually, I guess I can block Vengevine, and that actually works pretty well. I'm gonna see if I can get a random activation. Wow, I can't believe they actually did a random activation there. Lotus is in our yard, so we can't. Okay. Buster your force. Wait, now we get petals, though, for Sphinx. Wait a second. Did our opponent just throw the whole game? We get 2 petals, which gets us pretty close. Did our opponent throw the game? Do we have a chance? I have to chump here. I don't think our opponent should have ever activated there. Just attack and make me have something. They do still have Hollow One, right? I kind of have to force Hollow One. So I have to block the Vengevine. I technically could block the Root Walla, but then I can't force, and I'm dying on the swing. So I have to just block this Vengevine. Still gets the Vengevine exiled, and I have 4 life. I think I'm supposed to force the Hollow One. So there's no Sphinx Stream here, unfortunately, because I don't think I can beat this Hollow One currently. All right, so now I need to draw another creature. Oh god, is this my Mindbreak trappable spell? That would be so sad. Sphinx costs 8 anyways. We can't even draw a land and cast it, so... Alright, I really need to draw Sheoldred. I drew a land. Alright. No, they already countered Yogg this game. Man, playing against Hollowvine is got to be the most unfun thing. And I think our deck is actually even better than my normal decks against Hollowvine, but it just did not work out. A rough 3-3 finish to this deck. I kind of like this deck, though. I think there's something here. I'm going to say I'm probably wrong, and I shouldn't be playing Dark Ritual is what I'm going to do. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. I do have a new build. We were working on it with chat. I think Echo Baron and P9 are probably correct, and you're probably just supposed to play Sagas, which does, of course, hurt me on the inside on a cellular level. But this is the list I would recommend for the next attempt we make. Basically, I cut the Dark Rituals, and I played Urza Sagas. I cut one of the fetches, so we're down. We're going to say 4 Sagas are 1 land, basically. And I'm going to play 16 lands. And then we are going to move some of the blue cantrips into Night's Whispers, which I think make a little bit of sense. Night's Whispers is like a historically powerful card for these big blue archetypes to, especially when you have a bunch of Underground Seas as a way to gain card advantage. So this is what I'm going to try next time. I definitely still was impressed with Sheoldred. Every time Sheoldred was on the battlefield, it just seemed really powerful. And even Hullbreacher was pretty okay this time around. So I definitely liked Sheoldred. I didn't like Dark Ritual, which is why we cut it. And I definitely found that we were like lacking the ability to draw extra cards. So these Night's Whispers might help us in that. So this is where I would go moving forward. Get some more Dismembers and Fatal Pushes because you don't have to play Swamp. You've got to reconfigure the mana base because you don't have to play Swamp anymore because of Dark Ritual. Obviously, it's going to be hard to cast Sheoldred against like shops. That's going to be tough. But maybe with Saga getting Black Lotus, you end up with some longer games where you can actually cast Sheoldred. No, we're not playing that many lands. Urza Saga is just not a land. And so we're actually playing very few lands. So, I think that's how you have to look at Saga. You can't really look at it as anything more than maybe 1 land for 4 slots, which I think is pretty reasonable. So that's where we are now. Remember, new videos on this channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I will see you in the next one.